It's now been 2 months since the last UFL beta was available to play. Since then, what has changed? Has the game improved? Is it truly a FIFA killer, as some people are suggesting? Well, as someone who repeatedly wastes their money on buying FIFA every year, that could have been spent on a new gaming chair that doesn't result in me being like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Here are my brutally honest thoughts on UFL after being able to play it for a considerable amount of time before its second beta launch. Let's see whether it's worth playing or not.
He plays it long. Amazing, another goal and they're 3-up.
Gameplay. So in my last video on UFL, I did come to the conclusion that the gameplay felt very arcadey at times, and less realistic when compared to its competitors. Yes, I understand you can say the same for EAFC, but it was the clunkiness and lack of fluent and smooth football that was the issue. But how does it feel to play now? I'm not sure if it's just me, but defending has become more difficult when compared to the first beta. I mentioned before how any knobhead can pick up the game and enjoy it, thanks to how easy it was to defend at times. Now, it feels like you need to have a Prestige 10 Goblin Master's degree in tackling. Nah, it's not that difficult, but it definitely feels a bit more challenging, which will be subjective depending on what you look for. This is mainly because the probability of the defending assist helping you out has slightly been reduced since last time, but the AI assist in general, when you aren't controlling a specific player, has been improved in many areas, such as marking and positioning, which is great. Essentially, your players won't be acting like utter donkeys. In terms of realism and how fluent the game is, it definitely feels a bit more realistic to play in terms of how your players react and pass the ball. As animations when receiving and passing have been improved, and despite improvements to the dribbling in this game, unfortunately, it still feels like you have very little control over players at times. It genuinely just feels like they have a mind of their own, especially when attempting to dribble through the opposition's defense. It's rare that you truly feel like you have 100% control of the ball when sprinting whilst dribbling. Whether you're able to run through their defense or not seems to be judged on a flip of the coin. Or maybe I'm just sloppy in possession, as damn Derek Ray would love to point out about 87 times a game. I can promise you, I'm not sloppy at shattering kneecaps though, you donkey. Hopefully this can be improved down the line. On the flip side, the OP interceptions feel far less intrusive. Beforehand, it felt like you could have your nan with soiled to shit pants in your team, and she'd still be able to intercept about 90% of the balls coming your way. Now it happens to be less often. And don't get me wrong, I hate those pretentious goblins who attempt to pass the ball like prime Barcelona. But at the same time, I also don't want balls being intercepted about 104 times a game. Free kicks and corners are very similar to EAFC in terms of their mechanics, and they also don't feel overpowered in my experience. I can't even recall someone scoring a corner or free kick against me, and I don't think I've actually scored from a corner yet, and I've certainly not scored a free kick, and that's also because I'm literally as useful as the dog shit cemented to your sketches when it comes to free kicks. When it comes to scoring goals in general, it still feels rather easy to score outside the box at times, and they often seem more likely to go in when compared to shooting inside the box. This does result in some cool moments though.
They need to get it to the strikers.
It's not like FIFA, where you 100% know some mophead has just launched their controller at their TV.
Oh, it's through. Oh, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Sweaty man. He broke his TV.
Improvements have also been made where you'll hit the post less often to make things more realistic. Goalkeepers still don't feel overpowered, but they aren't as useful as an old bint's life. Minor adjustments have been made where they will catch the ball more often with weak shots, along with improved animations and, more importantly, a reduced ball rebound after a successful save. Essentially, the ball won't be pissing about like a God to Christ pinball machine as often like you see in FIFA. Right, hold on. I need a word with you. At 500k subs, I'm finally doing a face reveal. So smack that subscribe button silly, and you'll also never miss any of my brutally honest videos. So let's be honest here. The overall gameplay still doesn't feel fluent, and you still don't feel like you're ever completely in control of a game. But on the flip side, anything can happen, and most matches are often very unpredictable, which does allow more casual players to enjoy this. Game modes. Global Online Football League is still the main game mode to play in UFL, which is essentially Ultimate Team, but without the focus of spending hundreds of dollars on opening packs to build a team of players. As said before, I have never been a fan of this mode in FIFA, as it always felt like a rage-induced cash grab, where it would somehow make me so angry, like someone has just come round, kicked my dog in the bollocks and eaten its eyes. No other game out there has made me more angry in the past than FIFA Ultimate Team, and that's why I've stopped playing it, to be quite honest. Basically, my mum was sick of being able to see me playing FIFA through the holes twatted in the walls. UFL's version is a lot more relaxed, and the 100% scripted moments that EA deny, where it feels like your opponent can do nothing wrong and your players literally start playing like a bunch of cable ties, doesn't seem to happen. Whilst in FIFA, you can play as a top 3 side and get utterly murked by Burnley.
5-1! This is worse. 10-3 on aggregate over the 2 league games. Bloody joke. And look at that for a pass. God, I can't believe how rubbish. He's getting done for pace by Cabral now. Oh my God, it's going to be 6. It's 6! I can't believe it. It's bloody 6. 6-1! What's going on? Cabral, never heard of him, sounds like a chocolate bar.
Instead, UFL promotes the idea that this game is fair to play, and these dodgy as hell moments and blatant handicaps do seem to be a lot less common, which is great for the condition of my house and its appliances. As someone who doesn't really like the Ultimate Team presence, Global Online Football League is actually fun to play. You are able to grind it out and buy players, and the skins you can get for the players is a cool feature. Instead of spending a few $100K on one card that looks a bit leery with improved stats on Ultimate Team, in UFL you can buy skins and apply them to players, which will improve certain stats and also make them look a bit more leery visually. So what other game modes can you now play in UFL? Unfortunately, as of right now, there is still no confirmation on whether there will be a career mode added at some point, but as of right now, you can still play non-league, 2v2, 3v3, offline and offline with friends. Considering this game is free to play, it's not the end of the world, but it would be great to see a career mode and pro clubs down the line. Graphics and presentation. UFL is run on the Unreal Engine 5, which does provide some decent visuals. One thing that people get turned off by is the lack of licenses, which therefore means your favourite teams, kits and stadiums will be missing from the game. Despite UFL not having access to licenses, all the players you could hope for are still here, and considering this is still in development and in the beta still, these visuals are impressive, and there has been some visual updates made to lots of players in the game. I'll list some of the players on screen, but to be completely honest, presentation hasn't really changed much since 2 months ago. However, it still does look the best it can, despite not having the licenses to replicate the Premier League or Champions League experience. And the cutscenes look decent, even though 99% of players skip them. Despite changes to the commentary, it still isn't the best, and they often speak far too soon when calling out certain aspects of the match, which makes them look like a right pair of arses.
Passes. Oh, he should do it more often. No one expected that. Maybe next time he'll get it under the bar.
Gotta be honest, I'm just happy that I don't have to listen to these knobheads spitting out the same old bollocks every single game. I swear I've heard certain lines like sloppy in possession or even Steven in my goddamn sleep. It's refreshing to listen to different commentators for once, even if they are dumber than your curtain rails.
A trick that didn't come off. I reckon every member of the team has had a touch as they've passed it around. But what for? I think all these passes are just to wear the opposition down. And me.
Overall, the UFL presentation hasn't changed much since 2 months ago, but this doesn't mean it's bad. It looks good considering it's still in beta, and it does the best it can despite the lack of licenses to replicate what you see on TV. So here we go. Is UFL really worth playing? So this is the best way to put it. If you don't want to play a football game that doesn't result in needing anger management classes and more holes filled than your local bingo hall, UFL is a game you need to try out. It's great for casuals and even the elite bumders who think sweaty goals will grant them success in life. Better yet, it's free to play. So if you don't like it, at least you haven't wasted $60. Yes, it's clearly not perfect still, and there is still a long way to go, but having competition in this space is essential, or EAFC will just continue the lazy cash grab cycle every year that we all know of, and dumb twats like me are guilty of falling into. Overall, it's 100% worth giving UFL a chance, and I would love to know your honest thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you do want to try out UFL, you can join the open beta weekend. You can play on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and the open beta weekend starts on the 2nd of August and it will end on the 4th. And if you would like to see any of my other brutally honest gaming videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day.